The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. And we've got another day with a little bit of rock and roll. And as we start off the show, I always like to check in with the indexes. Of course, my favorite is the S&P 500, up to 21.5 points today, 2.4 billion shares. And what are we at here? 2048, I'm going to call it. So we haven't gotten everything that we got back. We came back up pretty close into it to 2055, which is where resistance is. And we're going to kind of bat around here for a little while. I think maybe today and tomorrow, and then next week I suspect we're going to start seeing a lot of short squeezes in this market as volume comes down to kind of vapor-like levels. And seeing moves and all kinds of stuff that seem rather wicked and whippy, but not uncommon for this time of year. And we'll continue to keep an eye on everything out here. But it's kind of tough if you're thinking on trading more than a few hours or even a half a day, about the most over the last few days. And chop is one of the reasons that most traders get frustrated and then make mistakes. And I've kind of held back. I've added some positions yesterday for long term, but kind of tough to be making short-term trades out here if you have a medium-term outlook, like you're trying to go for a swing trade. Most of these things aren't lasting more than about some as low as a couple hours, and some maybe as long as 9 hours before you see a change in the weather. As always, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, and I appreciate your phone calls. You can also email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can post a message in the den if you want me to bring something up, a stock or another general interest question. And what else do we have? I'm just looking at a few of the things I've been watching out here and seeing if we got the kind of movement that I'm looking for. Kind of. But not a lot. I'm very interested in this pullback right now, so maybe I'm a little distracted here on the air, but I wanted to see how this thing got up to 2055, and it certainly looked like it got up there and then kind of just gave up the ghost. So, I'm thinking that we're going higher next week. I was thinking about buying some calls on some highly short stocks, and I just didn't see the love out there so far today to do that. But I have a feeling that it's either going to be Friday tomorrow or probably Monday, where we're going to start seeing the end of people coming out here and selling. And I'll have to keep an eye on it. On this day in 1941, Adolf Hitler, who had a jazzy little mustache and ruined it for everybody else. No one else can wear that mustache ever again. Can they? What did the mustache do to anybody? He just happened to wear it. But, like a lot of people, he ruined it for all. Anyway, on this day, he declared at 1941 basically war against the United States, bringing America already in, which has been, quote, quote, neutral in the European conflict. Of course, we were shipping vast amounts of stuff over to them, so not so neutral. The bombing of Pearl Harbor surprised even Germany, although Hitler had made an oral agreement with the Axis powers that Germany would join in the war against the United States. He was uncertain how the war was going to be engaged, but Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor answered that question. And got some interesting stuff going on. What else do we have? Yesterday, we were talking about the budget deal and whether or not there was a parameter in there that once again would start privatizing wins and socializing losses in the budget deal. But that budget deal looks like it may be on the rocks, and I think that's why we're starting to see this market come out. Basically, they had a procedural vote when the market was up about 2055 on the S&P cash. And it almost lost. If they hadn't pulled a fast one to try to get this budget deal through, it would not have passed. And basically, they wait. Normally, people get a few minutes to wander back in and make their votes, but basically, they called it quickly to try to make sure that at least the procedural vote made it, and it would not have. So I think we're starting to see a little shades of worry on whether or not we're going to have some kind of a problem funding the government soon. And, of course, the never-ending government shutdown that happens every year at this time, of course, always to make sure that it gets blamed on a certain lot of folks when it takes two to tango on everything. So anyway, this whole idea of putting back federally deposited insurance on basically a great deal of these things that are probably not wise to insure have been shoved back into this bill. And at least one senator, I think the one from Boston, is threatening filibusters and all kinds of stuff in the Senate if this goes through. So you might be watching those financials too, and I think this is going to be solved in the next day or two. But probably going to see a lot of volatility that is political theater. In fact, right now on most of the cable news stations, we're seeing the CIA director having to backstep his huge condemnation of a report about the CIA, and basically, I guess he got taken to the woodshed by the man and told to come up with a political answer that they want. Although the last 2 days he's basically been saying liar, liar, pants on fire. He's toned it down a little bit. As they say, walked it back. But I'm pretty sure that I believe what he said to begin with, not today after he's been told what to say by a bunch of political hacks. But I digress. FINRA actually announced that it has given 10 firms a total of $43 million fine, allowing their equity research analysts to solicit investment banking business at the same time. This goes back to the 2010 IPO for Toys R Us. And, of course, aren't they private again? That didn't last more than a little bit. But kind of interesting that it takes 5 years, almost 4 years, for FINRA to actually give one of these firms a fine. And I don't think they actually did anything, but they did offer. And eventually your sins will come out, as the Bible says. Airbus, I've been saying you probably don't want to be shorting Boeing, and there is a good reason for that. Airbus has decided to make this giant thing that's basically the A380. It is monstrously heavy. It can only land at a few airports. I suspect because of that, it's going to have to ditch one day, and with a probably fairly big loss of life. And I thought that would probably be the nail in the coffin. Actually, most of the people that had ordered them have already discontinued that order. We're not so sure. This thing hits other airplanes everywhere it goes because the wings are so long, and there's a huge infrastructure issue. Kind of like making a car as, basically as wide as the road, 14 feet wide, and trying to see whether or not it would fit down the road with other people trying to go down at the same time. The infrastructure already there. It's awful hard to build something without that infrastructure, and a lot of people are looking at the insurance rates on these A-Bus A380s. And the problem is they are hitting stuff everywhere they go. And all you can go to is YouTube and see how many planes that just the handful of these things out here have already hit just going down runways. You basically have to have people following these things around everywhere to make sure that its wings aren't backing in or hitting or turning or doing something else. It's just so huge. But anyway, the last of I think it was 6 these planes were supposed to be ordered by a Japanese firm. They've discontinued. A leasing firm also took their orders out, and they haven't had one order in the entire 2014 year. So it looks like in 2015 they're probably going to announce that they are discontinuing this A380 super jumbo jet, and I would be looking at Boeing to probably have a fairly decent year on that, especially in the larger size planes, as people probably, or at least a lot of these airlines probably look at this thing as being kind of a spruce goose. And maybe there'll be a handful of them still flying, but looks like it's going to be a fairly giant disaster for what is a make-work project in Europe. And unclear if they really make any money. It's all subsidized over there. But this may be a big enough albatross or Etzel to sink Airbus in the coming years. It's hard to see one of these things ever not have huge ripple effects, especially with the cost of designing these things. They pretty much have to be a hit or the company is going to suffer. Lending Club was out today. It is a new IPO. It is a peer-to-peer online lending service. Unclear just how to value this thing. I think it's the biggest problem. It had a huge pop out here today. It was probably helped by the being priced yesterday in a horrible market that was down. And, of course, it was up 50% this morning, so probably the people that ended up buying it are probably pretty happy. It is unclear with a company with $1 billion in sales and how you value it at this price. But I think it's a great company and a great idea. Maybe it's just another sign that these companies have way overestimated the near-term growth. And, of course, the idea is that banks won't really make loans to people that need them. They'll make them and make any loan that they want to a big Fortune 500 company because the FOMC will say that that's an okay loan. People that really need it, people are going to cause and create new businesses. Hard to get loans for those folks. And not a lot of venture capitalists want to get into a cupcake business or any other business out there that doesn't mean that it's going to just throw off huge amounts of cash. So Lending Club is at least looking at maybe kind of going to that venture capital, a semi-venture capital, maybe Shark Tank-like market. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Check out the new look of Tiger TV. Now you can see all hosts, charts, and computer screens live in high definition. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Thinkorswim, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV. Now, crystal clear in high definition, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't seen the new look of Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And as always, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Kind of a quiet day out here after the initial movement this morning. I think a lot of people are kind of a little scared of this market. Maybe the chop is starting to get to them. But what can you say? We're still up 21 points, 2.54 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. So volume is good, and it hadn't fallen off as much as I thought it would this week. But it is not uncommon for this week to be a little light, and next week to probably have a general bullish bias. We'll have to watch and see how history comes in this week, but it is interesting to me anyway. Other things of interest out here, if you have not heard about it, of course, the Sony hack is now putting out a dearth of wonderful emails from inside the company. One of them is what I call the Google question, kind of because of the whole beginning of the Second World War, at least for the United States, on this day, as we started the show with. But it is interesting to see that how a lot of these companies are trying to, like Sony Pictures and those other ones, are all ganging up on Google. And Google's, I guess the question is, Google has to say that it can't find things that are apparently on the internet, or things that, of course, Sony and Pictures and other legal firms don't want it to find. And normally these things are like torrent downloads of movies and music from the music industry, basically any anti-piracy efforts in here. But kind of interesting to see many things, besides a lot of racist emails going back and forth between the higher-ups in the company, again, against the people that star in their own movies. Kind of interesting to see that Sony's legal emails are now out to the world because of this hack. And I'm wondering when these companies are going to wake up and start putting in the canary in the coal mine to let them know that they're being hacked. Almost all these companies continue to ignore the software by several companies that would allow them to know that they were being hacked. But it just seems like if there's one thing that these corporate CEOs will not do is spend any money until the cow has left the barn. And even then, companies like Target still not doing, I think, anywhere close to what they need to do to make sure that these hack attacks aren't divulging a huge amount of either credit cards or sensitive information in the way of emails from its CEO or other people out here. But it is very interesting to me that no one is willing to spend money in this sector, or not a lot of people, let me put it this way, are willing to put money into this sector. And there's a great article out this week. I can't remember who wrote it, but basically it was the canary in the coal mine, I think was the title of it. And why don't these companies buy the software that actually is that? I.e., if you don't know the mine reference, miners used to take canaries that would die when oxygen levels fell just a little bit more than humans would pass out over. And, of course, the canaries would fall over, and they'd know it was time to get out because the air and the oxygen in the air was gone down in the coal mines. And that paradigm still exists, but certainly some of the companies I have on my list, I think there's going to have to be an event that is, we've already lost CEOs, and that doesn't seem to be enough to make anybody really change their ways in this. And then it's a daily drip, drip, drip of who was hacked and whose credit cards are coming out. And I know at TFNN we're constantly rotating credit cards because people will have credit cards on file, and, of course, they got sent yet another new one. Because, of course, they got hacked from Home Depot or any of these other myriad of companies. But kind of interesting to see that Google, I'm wondering if this is enough. I don't think it is, but I think that certainly at what point does the CEO have to figure out that his first probably his first problem to solve is making sure that his systems are secure. Now, this kind of goes back to an old joke, and I don't know if I have enough time to say it, but there's two guys getting chased by a bear, and one guy loses a shoe or something, and they both are talking to each other, and he says, well, it's not that I have to be faster than bear, I just have to be faster than you. And that's pretty much it. If you're better than everybody else, harder than everybody else to hack, we'll go elsewhere. Thieves are lazy. We'll be back in a minute.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we had a question in the den is, can you look at FireEye? Should we test the low before we buy? Always. Is this a good company? I think the company is very good. Its software is apparently the class of the field, and no one will buy it. And we've talked about this problem before, and that is that as soon as you get hacked, if you've got a canary in the coal mine kind of piece of software that says, hey, you're getting hacked, do you report it? Do you just try to ignore it as long as you possibly can? And the whole issue here, especially with Target, was last year, was that I'm pretty sure, let me say this, I'm reading into it, that they didn't want to say anything because they didn't want people not buying during Christmas. So they waited until after the first of the year to bring it up, even though that they knew that they had been hacked. And when a few of the companies, it got leaked that this FireEye software for Target had identified the fact that they'd been hacked and they didn't say and do anything, the CEO got canned. Now, the whole idea is plausible deniability for these CEOs. They wanted to be plausibly deniable. I didn't know about it, didn't hear about it, didn't know about it, deaf, dumb, and blind, I'm out playing the pinball. I have nothing to do with it. No one told me about it. They should have told me about it, but they didn't. We've all heard all this stuff. A great IPO. I don't know whether or not it was mispriced, but of course you'd probably technically want to look at it. I think the company's got a long-term future, but it's going to take an event to actually drive it. And I wouldn't be short this thing. It's got a monstrous short interest on it, and it could rip $5-10 in a minute. Is there hack insurance? No, not really. Most of these people where you really see the worst of it, like Target, is them getting into the ATM system. And I saw a company yesterday that didn't even encrypt their ATM data. So they had everything from the PIN number to everything. And these companies, it's just like they're whistling past the graveyard every day. I know what it is, and that is that these retailers are more than willing to spend money for lots of stuff, but they hate paying money for new cash registers. They hate paying new money for ATM systems and card swipers. If they could burn the store down before they would pay a dime for a new card swiper, for some reason. I know that they're expensive, but for some reason that is if they're going to spend money on anything, that is the last dime that they spent. And almost all these things would mean a revision to the software, to the point of sale systems. If you just know the abbreviation of that, POS, tell you a little bit about some of those things, although they've gotten much better. I think Buffett got involved in one of them this last year, too. But other companies, I think Microsoft bought a point of sale system also this year. So there are people starting to get into these at the edges, but going to be tough. But I think, it's not a week doesn't go by where we find out another major company has been hacked and all the security credit card information is gone, and or the mailing lists were sent, or the highest income people in the world have their Social Security numbers dumped out and all their other data. It is interesting. If you haven't been watching, the Greek stock market has been under pressure, and why it was down significantly last few days. Over 3 days, it's down 20%. I brought this up just a little bit, I think on Monday, and that is that they are moving forward a vote, I think on the 17th. And part of that is going to be going the full commie. And I mean full socialist, not European democracy socialism, but I mean full communist. And it's very unclear to see why they are doing that, other than the fact that they won't face up to the fact that they're going to have to actually work for a living and pay their bills. Could this be an entire country of 17-year-old adolescent males with absolutely no reach or grasp of reality? It certainly seems like it. In the last 2 years, they continue to replace reality with one of their own that has no basis in fact, and they continue sinking down the hole, thinking that Europe will more than be willing to bail them out yet once again. I think the joke is going to be on them, like a lot of people that whittle away their lives only to end up being middle-aged and uneducated and no retirement fund started. But these guys, I know we've got a great deal of them down here that fled Greece to come to the sponge docks just slightly north of this area. And hardworking guys, but I think they left their lazy cousins back there, because it doesn't seem like, it's kind of like France. These guys just think that the world owes them a living, and it's not helping, nor will communism. We know how it always has ended. Through 6,000 years of history, socialism and communism has always ended up the same way. I think we brought this up yesterday, so there's nothing new in that. Okay. Okay. Oh, we wanted to go to some charts out here, so we'll do that. Let me get them up. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. If you want to look at a stock, you can email me at path, at tfnn.com or post a message in the den if you want to look at it. What else do we have? Oh, I guess I got to get my list. And we'll fly through some of these as quick as we can. Wanted to see how some of these stocks were up here that were just hanging around these highs. We're looking. One of them is ACC. I don't see a whole lot in this thing. Actually had a little higher volume than the last high up here just a week ago. Arch Capital Group. Let's look at here a little longer. See out here. Line Technologies. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this. Alkermes, Aakermes. I've never heard of this company where it's been pronounced on TV, but certainly this is one that came up. It had some decent volume, but a little island reversal out here. I wanted to see how this thing is come back. And so far, we haven't seen a lot of volume in these ones. And, of course, you would like to see a ton of volume, very light volume out here today, and a little kind of a little hammer candle out here. Altera we have been bringing up for a number of days. I wanted to see how this one reacted. Of course, it was up against the $38.55 high from September 16th of 2013, had gone up against the previous $37 highs from September 19th and March 21st of this year. But it looked to me like this thing, I was watching it closely, it was breaking the previous highs on lighter volume, very light volume, but it still looked like maybe it was going to try to climb to that September 16th high with 5.7 million shares. Now we're still, 20 cents short of that, 21 cents short of that today. But boy, it's certainly getting into that candle. And I know a lot of people are looking at the SMHs out here. So we'll take a quick look at those, SMH. And this is kind of interesting. It has pulled back, but the energy up, not all that bad. You had some huge energy on the way down, so I'm expecting that you're going to get this $44.43 low from October 15th tested, and we'll take a look at that. Wow. Yeah. Somebody's asking in the den, how much deeper would the ocean be if it wasn't filled with square sponge, what is it? Square sponge bob pants? Bob Square Pun. Oh, who knows how that. Square Pants SpongeBob, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, SMHs don't look really that bad. Very light volume out here today. This is, we're looking at the S&P up 17 points or so out here. But I think there's a lot of people getting rather bearish out here before what's probably going to be a fairly bullish week next week. And, we'll have to see whether people are hiding out before Friday's close out here and then come back with a vengeance on Monday, or whether we get a few people that want to venture back out into this malaise of the market out here a little sooner. What do we have? I'm seeing some wicked moves in some commodities out here that seem to be rather interesting. This is Thursday, isn't it? We got our friend Andy Heck coming up. It's not Friday. It's Thursday. Thursday, December 11th. Ha! Made me look. I wanted to get into some other ones. Amazon, again, I said it was kind of tough to go short Amazon, AMZN, into what's probably one of their better times. Of course, this thing's been selling off from 341, but it kind of looks like this thing's trying to get some legs here around this 310 area. And my guess is that we're probably going to see this thing ramp back up when we start hearing all kinds of news and press releases about them selling billions and billions of dollars in the last 5 seconds before Christmas, where everybody forgot. And, of course, FedEx and UPS putting on additional people. So I think we're going to see a lot of last-minute shopping that we have not seen before. The retail numbers actually did not look that bad out today. Actually, fairly good compared to what a lot of people have been saying that they were, and I think we got our initial bounce off that. But I would think that we're going to see probably a lot of last-minute moves in Amazon before the end of the year. But this thing's down again today on lighter volume so far, and kind of tough for me to say that you want to be pulling the trigger on this one right now. AMD has been trying to make a bottom out here. I think someone called a couple of weeks ago and asked me, maybe even longer ago, about what I thought in AMD. And they continue to be the low-cost leader in building chips, but they have no R&D. And like the old saying is, if you don't put out your ship, there's not one that's going to come back in. Well, with no R&D, this company is not going to be making anything significant in the near future. It's got about another 20 cents to go down here to the $2.26 low that it wants to be testing from April 8th of 2013. I think it's going to get back into that. I think they've got enough ongoing orders from a variety of companies that they will still be around. The question is, are they a $1.50 company? Are they a $2.50 company? Or are they a $4 company? I think it would be stretching it to think that they see $5 again without a major change. Now, maybe that means that they go private and somebody invests a bunch of money in them, and they at least try to go up against companies like Intel and probably less well-known ARMS Holdings. But there are not a lot of companies out here like that. Maybe Apple would snap them up for some of the engineers for some of the stuff that they're doing. But again, it would be tough. Looking at CRM. Take a quick look at this one. And, yeah. Got a larger Gartley out here, which was on a sell. The energy on this last leg up before this leg down was on lighter volume than the big leg down from $67 on February 28th down to that April 29th is what I'm really looking at. Fairly symmetrical Gartley pattern out here. It failed at 88% retrace. So not bad. It's just the move off that October 15th low to the November 11th high. Just didn't have enough juice in this thing, and it pretty much showed exactly what you want. I think if you wanted to look at Salesforce, you have to look at coming back and having it test the previous lows, probably around in that 48 area. I think the Gartley pattern is probably set up, but I would now want a test of the 48.18, and that is what? The April 29th low. Let me zoom in a little bit here so people watching on Tiger TV can maybe see it just a little bit better. But to me, that is it. It basically did its Gartley pattern. It failed, and the first opportunity to go the other direction is always at the A point, at least for me. I want that A point tested. In this case, it had high volume, so there's two reasons to be thinking that 48.18 is the key for looking at CRM. AOL, I've been waiting for this one for a while. It's hard to understand how these guys are still in business. It's kind of like Yahoo. Without Alibaba, they're bankrupt. Boy, I've got to change. Oh, we're going to break anyway. I'm going to change back. I've got to fix this chair. I've been trying out my new knee chair out here, and it's just too high. I need to probably drill some holes and move it. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has just announced a special sale for the Gold Report for a limited time only. To celebrate the 660th weekly issue of Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, that's more than 12 years, TFNN is having a special one-time sale. Right now, you can receive 60 weeks of the Gold Report. That's 14 months for only $600. We're offering Tom O'Brien's dynamic weekly newsletter at only $10 a week, half off the regular monthly price. By taking advantage of this special offer, you also get a signed copy of Tom O'Brien's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, an $88 value. The Gold Report is published every Tuesday and provides subscribers with Tom O'Brien's expert commentary on the industry, as well as detailed information on a variety of mining equities. This offer is valid for current or new subscribers, but is only good through this week and ends this Sunday, December 21st. Lock in the low rate of only $10 a week for the Gold Report by placing your order at the front page of TFNN.com today. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Well, we're now up just 12.5 points on the S&P cash, 2.8 billion shares, and kind of interesting movement out here. We're going to have to see how this comes out, but if we're really going to get moving down, I mean, we've got to start today. We've got to have some kind of major reversal and close lower. I mean, not just flat, but I would imagine that if we're going to actually get some momentum down before the end of the year, we're going to have a pretty big sell-off before the end of the day. And so we'll watch that, but still up 12.5 points on the S&P cash. Looking at for some other stocks out here of interest, a lot of stuff out here that were interesting. Wanted to look at some of these restaurant stocks. We were talking earlier. I was talking to somebody about just these new IPOs, or rather new IPOs. Chewy was one of them. It's been out for a while, maybe 2 years. But it seems most of these things are kind of making a nice kind of domed high in these markets. And that is pretty much, what is that here? Back to these. Now, they're fairly light volume, but the one I really was thinking of was Loco. I know a lot of people were hot on this one back into the IPO, but most of these IPOs that had a huge moves off the beginning, especially when we're talking about LC today, boy, we're all the way back and down pretty much into these IPO starts. In the case of El Poco Loco, this one has just been drip, drip, drip all the way down from $38.65 to the November 7th high. And, of course, the first day you had monstrous volume. You just don't have a very long chart on this one. But certainly looks like it's back into that first day candle, which the low was, $18.18. Or $18.48 back on the 25th of July. So when we look at a lot of these, it's very hard to be extremely bullish on these new IPOs. But certainly there are a great deal of them out here that are coming back all the way. Now, of course, with gas prices being lower, the stocks that have been running the hardest are all these airline stocks, and even on a pullback today, with the market up 13 points, or you pull back yesterday, this thing really didn't get just a little more volume. I imagine we're going to make that volume or increase it today. But talk about parabolic stocks. Most of these airline stocks all looking this way, and the question is, the first day that crude really bounces. What is that? JetBlue. JBL? Something? JBLU? Is that it? I thought it was. Yeah. JetBlue. All these stocks look like huge, huge ABCs. And, of course, a lot of them have volume on here. JetBlue looking not quite as exciting as some of these others, but to me, very interesting stocks in the fact that when crude does move up, do you want to be long crude and short these as some kind of pair trade? At least that's my initial thinking right now. So many of these things are set up just that way, and that is they are priced for perfection, and I don't know where the bottom of crude is, but my guess is it is with the top in these airline stocks. I would be watching them very closely for signs that maybe they're starting to weaken and that crude may have bottomed. But let's take a look at that. Anyway, now just up 10 points on the S&P cash. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.